And so this is where trade DeFi comes in. It's going to be a huge part of the Palmyra platform. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working with various DeFi protocols to create borrowing opportunities for producers, um, and basically give them access to capital that they didn't have access to before, or at rates they didn't have access to before.
What's up, Ada Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. My name is Fareed. Today, we're sitting down with Daniel Friedman, one of the founders for the zenGate Global Project. Now, we're going to be diving into everything Palmyra, their commodities DEX, and their upcoming token launch. Without any further ado, Daniel, welcome back. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm great. Just got here to Dubai, ready to do some token 2049 stuff, whatever that stuff is. We'll see.
I feel like token 49 or 2049 just took place 6 months ago in Singapore, and it's taking place again in Dubai. Really interesting there, but I know it's a huge event. And I think there's also ETH Dubai taking place in Dubai, of course, as well. So hopefully you're able to enjoy, get the word out about zenGate. And today, that's exactly what we're going to do, right? So talk a little bit about, all the progress that has been made with regards to zenGate, and then also talking about the Palmyra commodities DEX. Now, before we dive in any further, could you maybe just give us the quick elevator pitch as to what zenGate Global is? I know that there's 3 core pieces, with Palmyra being the latest one that has launched. Could you maybe sort of reintroduce what those are as well? And then we're going to jump into all of the new stuff since our last sit down, or since our last conversation.
Sure. Right. So, for those who might not be familiar with me, first of all, so again, my name is Dan Friedman. And so I've been in the IT space for over 20 years, started as a developer and progressed to many different, wearing many different hats. The latest one is CEO, obviously. I worked a lot in business development, and my Web3 career started with being one of the first members of IOG, the company obviously that launched Cardano. So I was part of the founding team of Cardano, and we launched the protocol in 2017. After that, I was instrumental in spinning up the business development operation at IOG. So worked there for about 7 years, and then got on my own and started zenGate. So zenGate is the company building the Palmyra platform. And so the Palmyra platform is a tokenized commodities trading platform that is focused on underserved commodities in emerging economies. And so what we do is essentially we provide access. The platform provides access to underserved markets. And so what are those? Well, traditional commodities like gold and silver, for example, they enjoy a variety of different services, access to capital, access to trade. But say commodities like tea, for example, still a huge field. They don't have that same kind of access. A lot of it is very fragmented. There is a lack of access to, say, trade financing, to world market exposure, and so on. It's about a $2.6 trillion issue that we're actually digging into with the Palmyra platform. And essentially what you were talking about previously, the 3 pillars of the Palmyra ecosystem are, first of all, the Palmyra platform, which essentially is a tokenized commodities platform that we're building. The Palm Economy, which is the financial ecosystem of the Palmyra platform. And of course, the Palm DAO, which is a decentralized business development treasury, part of the Palm Economy and the Palm financial ecosystem, that is aimed to create opportunities for community members who are looking to engage in business with us, which is really a huge reason why we're here, is because the community has been so instrumental in helping us get to where we are and keep going, especially. So yeah, these are very important to us, and I'm very excited to tell everybody about this.
Thank you for that, Daniel. And for anybody who's watching this, this isn't Daniel's first time here on the channel. We've sat down with him, with Theo, their business operations manager, as well as Sam, who's also the co-founder of zenGate. So please make sure to go ahead and check those out. I'm also going to leave the links to their Twitter, as well as the official websites down below if you guys want to go ahead and join in and become a part of the zenGate global community. Now, that said, you've talked about the three pillars. The first was the Palmyra platform, which is now live, the commodities DEX. You also talked about the Palm economy, which will be the focus for today's video. And then third, we have the decentralized business development treasury. Now, diving into the second pillar, which is the Palm economy, could you maybe share with us a little bit more information surrounding the Palm token utility, and how does Palm stand out as a leader when it comes to the RWA sector?
Of course. So first and foremost, again, I wanted to reiterate that this is in fact a RWA tokenization platform at its core. And so to have a better understanding of the Palm economy, first you want to have an understanding of exactly where Web3 comes into the equation. So Palmyra is a combination. It's an aggregate solution of Web2 and Web3 solutions. On the Web2 side, of course, we have just solutions like, for example, streamlined logistics, cheaper logistics for producers that just don't have access to that right now because Palmyra can scale where their businesses cannot. Services like remittances. Remittances are really difficult to get into developing economies like Sri Lanka. Our platform solves that with the use of Mango Pay, and now producers can accept all major credit cards and really inexpensive bank transfer versus these crazy fees they had to pay before. Now, getting into the Web3 side is where it gets really cool. So not only is this an RWA tokenization platform, this is also a platform that embeds traceability as a core factor of the tokenization process. So with embedded traceability, you also get very cool things like on-chain certification, embedded digital identities, a huge thing like on-chain warehouse receipts, which is a way for producers to get trade financing in the traditional commodities trade. This is how producers get trade financing, and trade financing is another multi-trillion-dollar field. So what they do is they have warehouse receipts, which they can then they deposit a commodity into a warehouse, into a bonded warehouse, which gives them a receipt that can essentially be used to borrow money against. And well, they're borrowing money against the crop, but the receipt is the verification of the crop or the deposit. Smaller producers just don't have that access. Even larger producers, they get access to this money at a very high rate, sometimes over 30%. In fact, a lot of times over 30%, which is it's a huge portion of their profit. Our platform will fix a lot of these things. And so now that you understand where these issues are, let me explain to you what the Palm economy does. So first of all the transactions on Palmyra are actually done in fiat. Now, what happens with the Palm token is that the first and foremost, the Palm token core utility is staking. So the holder can stake the Palm token and receive rebates. And so these rebates are actually portions of the fiat transactions that happen on Palmyra that get converted into Palm and distributed to the stakers. And so not only is that a great way to kind of have really direct connection and engagement into what happens on the platform, this is also a great way for the token economy to keep injecting new capital into the economy through capital infusion versus a lot of token economies that are very closed and there's not a lot coming in from the outside. So this is really big. And aside from this, this is actually a great way for the users of the platform who are paying in fiat to offset their transaction fees, because again, they will be receiving rebates from the transaction fees on the platform. So a huge part of the ecosystem. Now, the next big thing that the Palm token does is it incentivizes a robust network of oracles. Oracles are essential to a healthy ecosystem, because with RWAs and with tokenization, with traceability, there has to be a lot of on-off chain data validation. There has to be a lot of deep-in device connectivity that happens, IoT connectivity that happens throughout the value chain. Oracles are crucial to get this data on chain, and so the part of the Palm economy is an incentive structure for oracles, for various different types of oracles, to work with us, to work with the Palm economy and the Palmyra platform, to essentially make the data clean and bring the data on chain. And right now we're in discussions with several different ecosystems, with but potentially utilizing Chainlink, potentially utilizing Ergo oracles, as well as some Cardano oracles, because there's different jobs for oracles. I mean, there's, like I said, everything from IoT devices to price data, to crop data, to proof of reserve. So many different opportunities for oracles to engage. And last but not least is the Palm DAO, as we call it. And what this is a business development treasury that we set up as again, another crucial piece of the Palm economy, because, like I said, the community has been so crucial in making this project a success. We wanted to keep engaging with the community. So the way this works is very similar to Catalyst. People who are looking to engage with us will submit proposals. These proposals will then get voted on by the community, and the proposals that get approved for people, say wanting to expand Palmyra into different regions, different commodities, will then get funded. And this will propagate the Palmyra platform business. So again, keeping the ecosystem healthy and keeping the ecosystem very community focused, which is what we're all about.
Nice breakdown there. Again, we've got the rebate fees, the oracle, the burn mechanism, and the ability to contribute to the direction of the protocol through the DAO or through the voting system. The next thing I want to jump into, Dan, is Cardano and Ergo. So for people that aren't familiar, you guys sort of have your feet in two separate ecosystems. Could you highlight the importance of that, but then also how you see Palm's vision or Palmyra's vision aligning with Cardano's vision?
So yeah, of course we are cross-chain, and we're proud of that. We are building on Ergo, we're building on Cardano, and essentially any ecosystem that is in alignment with our core values and our first principles. And of course, our first principles are essentially the same as Cardano and Ergo. It's all about bringing access to people. It's all about, as much as I don't like the actual expression, the core spirit of banking the unbanked, because it's just, you don't want to bank them. You want to bring them financial services that won't require a bank, but we're not going to go into that. Connecting the unconnected. And actually, this is something that World Mobile is doing, and who are great friends of ours. And, we're very excited to collaborate with them. And so this is, really the core of this is using blockchain technology to better livelihoods. to do these things that we've been talking about as an industry for so many years, to, like I said, to bridge these financial gaps, to create opportunities, to leapfrog, which is something that a lot of developing economies are starving for, and they're deprived of because of various different reasons. In the commodities field, for example, one of the biggest issues is under digitization, which then impacts the ability to access markets, which then impacts the ability for access. And that's what Palmyra is all about. It's all about access, and that's what the core values of Cardano and Ergo are about. It's decentralized access to various different services, a shared economy, which is a much more sustainable way to do business. And like I said, an opportunity to leapfrog so that you can enjoy the same type of opportunities as the rest can.
Nicely put, nicely summarized there. Again, I think that's why a lot of us have joined the Cardano community. The values from Ergo seem to align very, very closely to those as well. And I appreciate you sort of breaking those down for the viewers. Now, I have to congratulate you guys. You guys have had an ongoing ISPO for quite a bit of time. That's been extremely successful. I had you on and we chat a little bit about that. I believe one pool is a 99% margin pool. One of them is a 50% margin pool. Now, over the course of the last week, there's been an announcement of the actual launch of the Palmyra token. So we now have the official collaboration between you and the T-1 team or platform, which is a launchpad building on Cardano. I believe you guys will actually be their first ever token sale, right? So they're getting out to the community. You guys are obviously getting out your Palm token to the community as well, which I'm sure is an exciting time for the both of you guys as you guys are collaborating. I'll leave the links to T-1 down below for anybody who's hearing about it for the first time. I'll actually be providing more coverage of this in the future, and I'll be sitting down with the founders to highlight exactly how this differs from some of the other launchpad platforms building here on Cardano. Now, that said, could you maybe talk to us a little bit more about the Palm IDO, the different rounds, the different processes involved, and just the entire sort of process that you see playing out here? Because if I'm not mistaken, there's 3 separate rounds. So I'll turn it over to you, but could you break down the Palm IDO and how you guys are planning for this to happen?
Sure, absolutely. So yeah, -1, a great team. This is actually the same team that runs Wi-Fi. So this is a platform built by the Wi-Fi team, and we're very excited to be their first official IDO. Now, it's very important to understand that what we call an IDO is actually an initial distribution offering. What that is basically an early community round. We decided, again, as a thank you to the community for making this project a success, to give them early access. And so what we did was we designed 2 rounds, a smaller one for Ergo, a bigger one for Cardano, both of which will be on Cardano. One is going to use RS Erg, the other one is going to use ADA. Starting on the 18th. So the RS Erg round starts on the 18th, and the ADA IDO starts on the 21st. So the early access to the ADA IDO would actually be through the Palm NFT that was distributed to our ISPO stakers. And of course, after that, the public ADA IDO will be live on the 21st, later in the day on the 21st. And yeah, this is like I said, this is a thank you to the community. This is a round to get the community in early. We're very excited to be working with T-1 on this. We're very excited to be able to finally announce this. And of course, I mean, I don't want to give away too much, but we're getting all our ducks in a row here. There's going to be quite a few really good announcements coming. I mean, yeah, this is an announcement of an announcement, but we will let the community know about several different developments and things that we're working on to make sure that to make sure that the token launch is a success beyond TGE, which is going to happen very soon.
So from a community members perspective, if they want to go ahead and join in, could you maybe walk us through some of the requirements and some of the steps that they need to go ahead and go through to be able to participate?
Sure. So, of course, please visit the T-1 Twitter account or their website. And I suppose you'll have the links below so that you can check out. What needs to be done is the participants have to go through a KYC process. This is, of course, due to the highly regulated nature of the field that we're in, and we have to have this. You can see all the requirements for the KYC process on the T-1 website. Once you KYC the wallet, depending on which round you're in, you will be able to, that's when you'll be able to access the IDO. And I mean, that's really it. It's very straightforward. If you have any questions about this, you can always visit, like I said, the T-1 socials, their website. You can also visit our Discord, the Palm Economy Discord, where we have people that can guide you in the right direction.
So thank you for all that information there, Daniel. As we get ready to wind things down, I want to go ahead and just give the opportunity to maybe highlight anything that you haven't touched on yet that you think is of importance for the community to hear about zenGate, whether that's surrounding the Palm economy, the upcoming IDO, etc. But then there's also a follow-up I want to highlight here as well. So you previously mentioned TradFi and RWAs earlier. Could you maybe expound on that a little bit, touching on some of the gaps that you see here, and then some of the opportunities for zenGate Global?
Absolutely. And this is actually, and I know I keep saying it's exciting. All of it is really exciting because all of these are visions that are coming true. So that's why it's so exciting for us. It's a culmination of almost 2 years of work. However, this particular part is especially exciting because it is a new field that I believe is going to create a lot of opportunity for current DeFi. And so just to explain to you really quickly about trade financing. Trade financing is, again, a multi-trillion-dollar field in commodities trading. Essentially what happens is producers have to borrow against crops to process more crops. And so what happens is producers will deposit a crop into a warehouse. They will give them a warehouse receipt. And then they can go to a bank or a broker to borrow money to process future crops, right? Because these crops are staggered. Now, the problem is that in developing economies, as I mentioned before, the per annum to borrow this money is very high. In some cases, in fact, in Sri Lanka's case, it's over 30% a lot of times. So this is a big chunk of the producer's profit. And but that's just how it is. Banks just can't de-risk themselves well enough in these jurisdictions to be able to offer this capital at a lower rate. However, through the use of DeFi, we believe that we can solve a lot of these issues. And so this is where trade DeFi comes in. It's going to be a huge part of the Palmyra platform. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working with various DeFi protocols to create borrowing opportunities for producers and basically give them access to capital that they didn't have access to before, or at rates they didn't have access to before. Because some of these guys can't even access the 30+% per annum capital just because they're not big enough. And for the DeFi users, so for somebody who's got, say, for example, some stable coins, they can use these stable coins to create borrowing opportunities for producers, and they can also de-risk their investment into this ecosystem by utilizing the same tools that a bank would use, the tools that Palmyra has for de-risking, like for instance, the traceability, for instance, on-chain warehouse receipts, which is going to be a big part of this ecosystem. And so this will create a huge amount of opportunity for all sides. This is going to create a cross-chain opportunity. So we're going to be working with cross-chain DeFi. This is going to create a huge opportunity for Cardano native asset holders as well, because you're going to be able to utilize stables that are in the Cardano ecosystem. And once again, it's all about access. In this case, DeFi, and if you're providing liquidity, you will be literally bettering somebody's livelihood with this capital. So not only will you be making APY, a producer will be able to do business with this capital, and that's what it's all about. This is a real way DeFi can change lives. This is a real way DeFi can better industries, and that's why we're so excited about this.
That's huge. Again, you mentioned the word opportunity there, right? Being able to provide a win-win situation, not just for the person providing the stable coin or the assets that allow for these commodity-based businesses to run, but actually allowing for those businesses also, right, to get an additional opportunity that they may not have had access to if they weren't able to get a hold of those stables. So I'm really happy to see what sort of role zenGate as well as Palmyra is playing between this commodities industry, which I think has a huge potential, right, in also allowing for crypto-focused users of Cardano and Ergo to also now have a brand new opportunity to put their stables into, and as you mentioned, earn an APY by creating opportunities that weren't previously there for some of these commodity creators or these commodity providers.
Yeah, and if you actually think about this, just from, say, if you're lending stables, right? And I'm not going to mention any specific percentages because, of course, these things vary. But just think about this, right? So if you got somebody who's borrowing money at 30%, wouldn't they want to borrow money at say, maybe 2/3 of that? Of course they would. Of course. This is huge, and this is again a multi-trillion-dollar underserved market. As a liquidity provider, as somebody who's basically going to be using their stables and their crypto to provide these borrowing opportunities. Again, this is a way to hedge, and this is a way to create returns for yourself that are very healthy. I believe they're going to be some of the healthiest available in the DeFi space right now. So it's just, to me, it's really a win-win all around. And again, the big thing here is, right, we're finally using DeFi for real world assets, right? RWA, mainstream, right? That's what we're talking about, right? Banking the unbanked, connecting the unconnected, giving opportunity to those who don't have that opportunity. And that's what this capital is going to provide. So, like I said, I'm very passionate about this.
Rightfully so. Again, I can get behind that. A lot of the projects within the Cardano, specifically ecosystem, are really providing a lot of utility. Obviously, people are making money and making opportunities in other ecosystems. But what I really love about the projects building here is their focus on making a real world impact. And zenGate, as well as Palmyra, is just one of the many projects here in this ecosystem doing that. So Daniel Friedman, I want to thank you for your time. It's been an awesome chat. I look forward to having you back on here, especially as some of these integrations, you mentioned some pretty big names there, roll out, and as some of these DeFi products also roll out. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys found this to be useful. I've left the links to everything down below when it comes to T-1. We've also left the details surrounding the Palm IDO, the ISPO. And then if you just want to get involved with the zenGate global community, please make sure to check out those links down there as well. If you found today's video to be helpful, if you learned anything along the way, I would really appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. Not only does it help me and the channel out, it also helps to get this content out to other members in and outside of Cardano. If you do want more content like this, breaking down all the biggest builders here in the ecosystem, consider subscribing to Dapp Central. And last but not least, if you have any questions for me or Daniel surrounding Palmyra or zenGate or their upcoming IDO, then make sure to leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next video.